In
They
fact,
don't want the system to change.
in fact, I think that is why I was saying before that if we are expecting those who are benefiting from the system to change the system, then we can wait
It will
forever.
never work.
It will never
Yeah, we
change.
can wait forever. It will never change.
But it doesn't depend on them. You know, I think I've used this analogy before. When somebody takes a cane and continue to flog you, it doesn't depend on the person if you really want it to stop. It depends on you. Because to the person who is flogging you, he might be enjoying it. But what about you? Are you enjoying it? If you're not enjoying it, then do something. Okay, this might be very simplistic. What I mean really is that this is a responsibility for all of us. We might not be able to start a revolution, but maybe it's enough for us to say the truth we know. Like, for example, you are doing. You see, you are somewhere in Port Harcourt, you have written a book. I am hundreds of kilometers, hundreds of thousands of kilometers away, and that book is having a positive effect on me. I think that is what you need to do. That is what I need to do. That is what all of us need to do to help to become the little candle in the dark. Not by simply saying, everybody is the same. Everybody is not the same. Not every Nigerian, not even every Nigerian politician that is a criminal. So we must look for a way, because like I said before, this is a game. We must try and make an effort to understand the rules of the game so that we can change it from the inside. We cannot change it from the outside. We must look for a way to change the system because it is not working for us. So now I want to go back again because I believe that the Nigerian Civil War had a very huge effect on the Nigerian nationhood, on where we are going.
Probably I would say some people were not even happy with Gowon's stance of no victor, no vanquished. They would have wished that those of us who lost should all have been killed. Because some of them I don't really want to believe in my heart that they've really accepted everybody as their brother since, the war ended. Because they say that action speaks louder than words. It is by your actions. Some of them, and I think maybe the Nigerian is a different species of human beings. Yeah, and I want to say that because if we are not a different species, how come? How many? Look at what is happening in Rwanda. Rwanda we're talking about just the other day, and the people have forgiven each other and they have come together. They are putting their best 11 forward, and the country has become a showpiece. Why are we not doing the same in Nigeria? Even when you know that I am better than your brother, you rather have your brother or your kinsman or whatever do a shoddy job. And of course, when he does a shoddy job, it is the whole country that suffers. But you don't care because you're protected, you're getting what you want, you're grabbing and all that. And the entire country suffers for it. Everybody suffers for it. And that's where we are.
Now, before I ask you the last question, which is going to be a kind of recommendation on how we can probably resolve this problem, even though it's a complex situation, looking at state, looking at Nigeria as it is really complex. But somehow, we are the one that built the system as human being, So we should be more complex than the system that we build. Is there any part of your book, maybe a paragraph that you would like to read for us so that those who are listening to you, they can have a taste of this book? Because I find it to be highly valuable. Please do.
Let me see. Yeah. In fact, there is a part I would like to read, it has to do with the relationship with both armies while the war lasted, while the war was ongoing. It's in chapter 29. Things got to a point where everyone began to feel that the federal troops, having thrown their best punches and having been absorbed by the Biafran forces, that there was some sort of lethargy had set in within the federal ranks. Biafran soldiers began to talk about Biafra having survived, and that what was of utmost importance then was only individual survival. Like it was being said then in Pidgin English, Biafra don't survive. Now individual survival will remain. It actually became a saying among soldiers, but nothing could have been further from the truth. The federal forces had a slogan of, to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done, and they were out to ensure nothing short of that. That period of flood had occurred after the disastrous attempt to capture Onitsha and then Nnewi that resulted in the destruction of 102 assaulted vehicles and possibly hundreds of Nigerian troops. After a while, they had shifted their focus southward and had attempted to capture Uguta, which was in close proximity to the only outlet of Biafra, the airport, to the outside world, Duli Airport. So let me just stop there.
Please, thank you so much.
Yeah, so, at that point, but it got to a point, it's still down the something. When some form of camaraderie developed between Nigerian soldiers and Biafran soldiers. And the soldiers in their trenches, the Nigerian soldiers were being well fed. They were even having beer brewed specially for them and all that. We'll invite Biafran soldiers to come over to their trenches and drink beer and eat food. It happened, real life story. And they will go over and drink beer, eat some food, and return to their trenches. And probably 2 days after, hostilities will resume and they begin to shoot each other again and people began to die. But you see, what that showed was that maybe somewhere deep down in the hearts of these soldiers, these people are really my brothers, we shouldn't be killing each other. So when they found opportunity to do good, they did it. Otherwise, one would have expected, maybe they will give them poisoned food, or they will give them poisoned, alcoholic beverages. But they didn't do any of such things. They came and they talked normally and cracked jokes, and they went back to their trenches.
That must be a testament to our humanity.
Yes, it's really a testament to our humanity. Nobody believed such a thing could have happened, but it did happen. It did happen. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't all, there were some ugly aspects of the war, people did terrible things, even soldiers were captured and buried alive and all sorts of, terrible things. But it was not all bad every time. Some people still had some modicum of humanity in them. And when the chance presented itself, they exhibited it. while the war lasted.
Thank you so much for that. And on upon that, we must remember what has now become a national item, that this war is a war among friends, among family,
Brothers.
among brothers.
Yes.
So we, as a country, we must look for a way to outgrow it. We must bring in policy that decreases this tension of ethnicity. Because as a country, we must look for the best among us to serve us. If there is agitation every here and there, it's a testament of the failure of the central system. That central system must look for a way to make sure that every Nigeria counts. I think we have the possibility of able to build upon ourselves and we can survive. So what will be your final statement here?
My final statement will be that I'll be talking to the powers that be, that there is still a window of opportunity to unite us together if only they will listen to the advice of a lot of people. A lot of people are beginning to lend their voices. Let us go back to the conference table. Every group that feels injured, every group that feels marginalized, let us all come together and let us thrash out all these issues. And we'll find out that maybe by the time we finish and begin to apply what we have agreed upon, all these agitations and tensions and criminality all over the country will come to an end or will dissipate gradually. That would be my advice to them.
Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate that. It has been a pleasure on my part. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.